Very good afternoon to you. How you doing? Welcome to What Then Media. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Christian Rees under this face shield. I'm live in Watford High Street. You might not be able to hear me very well because I've got obviously the face shield on. But I wanted to do a quick video in terms of letting you guys know that as the economy and as town centres up and down the country pick up and open up, then how do we go about doing stuff in a safe way? If the 10 people that are watching could let me know whether you can hear me or not, I'd be really grateful. And also tell me where you are, likes, shares, comments, etc. I'd be really keen to know. The reason that I'm outside Specsavers is obviously because I used to work here many years ago in a past life. But also I'm really interested in looking at what is COVID, brilliant Lisa, thanks. I'm really interested in looking at what is COVID secure eye care. What does it look like? I need to nip in. I'm going to ask them whether I can film. I don't know whether I can. Might be able to, might not be able to. So I thought I'd do something outside. And also I thought I'd report in terms of whilst it's lovely that people are out and about and largely social distancing, we need to be very clear that there is increased risk the more people are out and about. If I just turn around just to show you what's going on, right? So there's loads of people generally keeping apart, a few people wearing gloves, masks, majority not, I would suggest. And I think what we really need to be really mindful of is, I thought about this in the short cycle up here, right? They really wanted to push, brilliant Caroline, thanks. They really wanted to push herd immunity. Why don't we start trying to push herd safety, herd social responsibility? Because if we go out with masks, with gloves, with face shields, if we all do that, then we as a country can really not lock down again hopefully, but we can really crack down on what is something that is incredibly dangerous, right? And there's lots of people in the media, mainly social media, that have a voice, but they don't necessarily have the knowledge, they don't necessarily have the information. You know, there's some guy, I'm not even going to kind of perpetuate it by sharing it, right? But there was some guy who said something about, oh, I know somebody who wore a mask for 10 minutes and they collapsed. What I would suggest to that gentleman is that there is no cause and effect relationship between that person wearing a mask and that person collapsing. Because we know, my friends, colleagues, peers on the front line in the NHS, day in, day out, whether they're doing surgery, operating on people, or just operating in a COVID secure way, you can wear masks absolutely fine, right? Careful with the gloves though, because they're for one use. Yeah, absolutely, Rajana, I'd agree. Probably treat gloves as you would condoms in terms of the once use element to it. Not in any other ways, I hasten to add. Yeah, I like the idea of herd social responsibility, Linda. Yeah, cool. Feel free to use that, let people know, share it. Let's see if we can get that into the narrative. And my big point of this, right, is why is Michael Gove not turning up in prep with something like this, right? Why are they not setting the example? Why are they not leading by an example? Because you get Boris wearing a conservative blue mask occasionally and then disappears and nothing about it, and you have Gove contradicting that message where it's like good common sense and good manners, all this sort of stuff, right? What we need is clear, decisive leadership where people are actually stepping up and telling people what the risks are. And the reason that I would very much suggest that you wear face shields and these kind of protection is because there has been evidence to suggest that there is cases, rare cases of ocular spread of COVID-19, right? I don't know if you've seen in the news this morning, but there were 6 different types, which can kind of account for the 6 different symptom constellations that people have, right? So I don't want to go into that in depth here, partly because it's a case of just keeping this quick, concise and to the point. I want to get across the point that if we remain completely locked down now, we're actually probably going to start causing more damage to our health, whether that be our eyes, our ears, our teeth, whatever. So we need to learn about how do we operate in terms of safety, right? And one thing that I was really pleased to see when I came past is, look at this, what we're doing to keep you safe. Right, thoroughly cleaning frames after they've been touched, disinfecting testing rooms with each person we see, following social distancing and PPE guidelines, open with you in mind, visit us in store where your safety comes first, talk by phone or video, remote care consultations available, and buy online, right? So we have the technology, we have the ability to live and operate in a COVID secure way, right? What I do not like is them talking about, oh, COVID safe. COVID safe sounds a little bit weak. It sounds a little bit tepid. It sounds a little bit watered down, right? if we're going to do something half-cocked, why bother doing it at all? So we might as well do it properly, and we all take it upon ourselves to do everything that we can to be COVID secure. And that does mean masks, that does mean face shields, depending on what kind of environment that you're in, right? I cycled here wearing this because I wanted to test it. And for those of you that saw the very early biohacking video where I cycled about half an hour with a surgical mask and it was full of kind of saliva and spit afterwards, you will realise that that wasn't very successful. This, however, didn't steam up, no problems at all. There's some foam that keeps it off your head, and also it doesn't bend your ears forward like all the other stuff, right? So Vanessa's saying, I totally agree, we have to be as secure as we can. We need to be as secure as we possibly can. I completely agree. Have to be, absolutely must, right? Without a shadow of a doubt. The only way we're going to do that is put the information out there into the wider world, into the wider domain. So 65 people watching, thanks so much. We had a few donations on the crowdfund yesterday, which I really appreciate. That was really helpful. Saw one great comment last night where it's saying, another kind of media company milking crowdfunding in terms of COVID. I politely replied to that gentleman that we're a very different media company. We're not a media company like any other. And I suggest him to kind of watch our content, enjoy it, share it. You never know, you might learn something and you might end up, well, if not saving somebody's life, at least potentially not inadvertently murdering them or killing them, because that is the world that we live in. Okay, this virus is circulating in populations. We are still getting on top in terms of the track, test and tracing infrastructure that's required to safely kind of control this. And until such period, my suggestion to you would be use this kind of stuff, use gloves, use masks, use face shields. Do you feel a visor is okay instead of a mask? I thought it was an extra rather than an alternative. Absolutely, Vanessa, it is an extra rather than an alternative. This is with my Medical Journalists Association hat on, in the sense that I'm a key worker from that regard as well. And I can't really do this with a mask and a visor because it would steam up. I wouldn't be able to see you, I wouldn't be able to get out there. But it's a great question. Put it this way, when I go into M&S later, just over the road, I will put a mask on under this and I'm going to try out and test out the face shield as well. If it steams up and I end up walking into somebody or something and injuring myself or somebody else, then I might have to reassess it. But certainly, if you're in a public-facing role all day, every day, whether you be a security guard, you're front of house in Specsavers or any other optician that's available, I think these are essential because it will minimise the when you're speaking in terms of airflow and stuff coming out without constricting the air that's going in, and it will also protect you from potential ocular spread, but also spreading more. So I think it's really important. So thanks so much for watching. I will try and do more of these updates. I'm going to see whether I can go in there and film. Probably not, because there's loads of patients around and stuff. But I think that the take home from this is, as the country is opening up, we need to be really clear about what we can do safely, what we can do securely, and also fight back and push back in terms of, well, I don't want COVID safe, I want COVID secure. So thanks so much for watching. 68 people that are watching. Can I wear a shield instead of a mask? It depends, Angela, right? So if you have a health condition where you're exempt from wearing a mask, such as COPD, such as asthma, such as even anxiety, right? If you have a medical problem that means you can't wear a close-fitting mask, and there are significant groups of people that are around that don't want to or can't wear a mask, then the face shield is an alternative, and it is a different option, right, that you can consider. Rocking the visor, thanks. But, you know, it's not easy. You know, I'm sweating under this, don't get me wrong. So Angela, firstly, obviously, if you have COPD, then you're obviously going to be potentially at higher risk from this, as many COPD patients are. And also, I would also suggest that if you know yourself well, you need to kind of get personalised medical advice, right, from your GP or doctor, and this is not in any way, shape or form trying to circumvent that. But if for a legitimate medical reason you can't wear a mask, then a face shield is a good alternative, I would suggest. They're not very expensive, they're comfortable to wear. You do your bit to protect yourself and protect others, but it only works the more people that do it, to be honest, right? The more people that do it. So rather than the herd immunity, let's move towards a kind of herd safety mentality or a herd social responsibility mentality. Thank you so much for watching. You know the link in terms of the crowdfund. Feel free to contribute if you can. Please tag your friends, comment, etc., etc. I put $200, not pounds, behind yesterday's video. I'll do the same for this one just to get it out to more people, and I look forward to checking in with you guys soon. Cheers, take care, see you later, bye.